At this Sydney workshop, Jason Elias is gearing up for his company's biggest expansion in decades.
The government's spending money on infrastructure, defence, all these sectors. Welding's the key focus.
But his plans face one major snag. Jason says his apprentices aren't getting the technical training they need to help him meet his contracts.
Currently, the TAFE curriculum is at least 10 to 15 years old.
A former TAFE teacher himself, Jason Elias says it falls to employers to fill the gap.
We have to now set up in-house training facilities. It would take us another 12 months minimum to get them up to scratch.
Second-year apprentice Brendan says his TAFE course was basic.
I learned a lot more here, like theory-wise and practical-wise.
I look at the equipment and it's a bit like stepping back into a museum.
Yeah, it's a good setup.
Jeff Crittenden represents the welding industry. He argues the curriculum is held back by red tape, claiming apprentices are still required to spend 250 hours on welding techniques that are no longer widely used.
It's easier to just use the same material time and time again. We need to look at robotics. Big data is now a thing in welding. I mean, internationally, our rugby teams are a lot better than our welding teams, I can tell you that now.
The organisation that represents TAFE institutes says it's up to industry to drive changes in technical training.
TAFEs and TAFE teachers have to follow the curriculum and the requirements that are set by industry. So our message to employers is go and talk to your industry association.
New figures show Australia has failed its own test when it comes to skills. Employer satisfaction with training has fallen nearly 10% in the past decade. The proportion of trainees who got a job or promotion from subsidised study also declined. Federal and state governments have cut spending on vocational training by more than $1.5 billion since 2012. The biggest cuts were in Victoria, South Australia and WA.
Well, those numbers are raw numbers, and in fact, in real terms, it's significantly more.
The federal and state governments will inject an extra $1 billion into the skills sector through the new job trainer scheme. But some fear that TAFE's share of the money won't make up for years of belt tightening.
The announcement of Job Trainer has been particularly disappointing. The $1 billion of funding announced is less than 1/3 of the cuts.
We design and manufacture log trailers, log transport equipment. We have auto electricians, a boilermaker welder, fitter and turner.
Graham Elphinstone has been hiring apprentices for 4 decades and says he's seeing more arrive without even the most basic skills.
They battle to read and write when they come to us, let alone do maths. We have to do a lot more training in-house and to get apprentices to where we want them.
It's well and truly accepted that literacy and numeracy is a general issue across the labour market.
TAFE teachers see the need to do more, but say despite a new literacy program that started in May, the present system isn't tailored for it.
Now that there is a lot more technology work, you need to have those increased levels of literacy and numeracy. And we don't really fund that or put that into training package requirements, and nor is it measured, nor is it regulated.
I learned pretty much everything I know about it here on the job.
Veteran turner Braden Gabrowski has just finished a 4-year apprenticeship. The high-end lathe he uses at work is a far cry from the one he trained on.
There's not really a great deal on offer as far as CNC machining is concerned at TAFE in Tasmania. They've got an old Akuma, it's probably from the 70s I'd say.
We need to invest in TAFE to make sure that they have the machinery, the plant equipment and the classrooms set for 21st century learning.
Well, Brad, how you going with it?
Too bad.
Braden's boss says TAFE staff no longer regularly visit apprentices to help them stay up to date.
Yeah, beautiful. Occasionally they come and all they really bring is the paperwork and they just want to tick all the boxes.
Even TAFE bosses concede it's time for drastic change. They want to throw out the system that sees rigid national training curriculums written in Canberra.
It has become very centralised, so there needs to be some autonomy at the local level to train to an industry standard, but to also to be able to make sure that it can meet what the local employers need.
While a Productivity Commission review of the training system is underway, the government says it's also created a new National Skills Commission. Minister Michaelia Cash told 7:30 the government is focused on simplifying the VET system and making sure it's more responsive to the skills required by employers. Across the skills sector and industry, there's widespread agreement that better vocational training is more crucial than ever.
Well-funded TAFE is going to be the bedrock of a recovery.
The opportunity in the next 5 years, in particularly the defence sector, the sky's the limit.
Hi, I'm Lee Sales. Thanks for watching this story. If you'd like to watch more of 7:30's stories, they are on the left of your screen. And tap on the button below to subscribe and get the latest from ABC News.